Like if we're talking about positives, and there weren't a lot. Let's be honest. There wasn't a whole lot of things that went well for the Cardinals against the Chiefs on Saturday night. Are you comfortable putting Clayton Tune in the positives category, all things considered? I mean, the stat line, 12 of 24, only 50% completions. There was a number of throwaways in there. 133 yards. Didn't turn the ball over. Didn't generate much in terms of points. Didn't throw a touchdown pass, although he had one called back.
Geez, it's all about perspective. If you're talking about a fifth-round draft pick at quarterback who's playing in a couple preseason games, yeah, he looks okay. If you're talking about, can this guy go out there in week one and start a game on the road in the National Football League? Is he ready to do that? I would say no.
Maybe that's a better way to frame it. Did Clayton Tune do anything on Saturday to convince you further along those lines that maybe the gap is lessening between he and Colt McCoy, or that he could be a week one starter? My answer to that is no.
No, of course not. But the problem is Colt McCoy has done absolutely nothing in 2 preseason games.
That's where I'm going with this.
So Clayton, this gap between the two, it's not because Clayton Tune's going up, it's because Colt McCoy's going down. That's the concern right now. And, the bigger picture on this thing is that when Kyler Murray blew out the ACL and you knew he was going to be out for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever, conventional wisdom was back in January, the Cardinals would go out in free agency and get themselves a stopgap quarterback because Colt McCoy was too old or not good enough to start those games. Fine for 1 or 2, but not good enough to keep this team afloat for 5, 6, 7, 8 games. Who was it going to be? Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Teddy Bridgewater, somebody. They didn't do it. They didn't go out and get anybody. And we just all kind of sat back and said, oh, okay, I guess it's going to be Colt McCoy. Well, here we are.
Well,
and right now, in 2 preseason games and 4 drives, he's done virtually nothing. And now I'm reading on Twitter, people, he can't throw the ball downfield. Well, and he couldn't throw the ball in the spring.
That's what the stats actually bear that out in 2 games. And yes, only a couple of drives each game, 1 drive in the first game. Colt McCoy's completed 9 passes this preseason for a total of 42 yards. So that's 4.6 yards per completion, 3.5 per attempt. The air yards, I don't have that figure in front of me. The ball's not going down the field very much. It's check down city.
Okay. So is that because he can't do it? Is that the game plan?
That certainly was the game plan.
Now
the last 2 years when Cliff.
Did they accidentally leave the old playbook in the locker room and he picked it up by accident?
He threw it on a second drive on 3rd and 4. Petzing dialed up a deep throw to Rondell Moore, and he overthrew him. So he threw it. It wasn't a bomb, but they threw it somewhat moderately deep down the field on that play. But there's been nothing. And now against the Broncos, there was no James Conner, no Trey McBride, no Hollywood Brown, so you can kind of excuse. He played 1 drive, so what are you supposed to glean from that? But in game 2, you had 3 drives. You had all your horses, you had all your weapons, and nothing happened. You were 1 for, 4 on 3rd down, and all 4 of those 3rd downs were manageable. Mm-hmm. And you could not move the sticks.
Yeah, they were 3 for 13 on 3rd down for the game.
For the game, 3 for 13.
The tone was set there, you're right.
Completely unacceptable. But McCoy and the first-team offense, 1 for 4. And they were all manageable. And they could not move the sticks to sustain drives and put the ball in the end zone or even put the ball in field goal range. So you're starting to wonder now, okay, what do they have here? And the fact that, this is back-to-back games now where Clayton Tune's gotten 49 snaps. Are they desperately trying to figure out if this kid's good enough to start against the Commanders in week 1? Because they're absolutely petrified that Colt McCoy can't throw the football at a level to win a game in the National Football League right now? And should they have known that in the spring and gone out and been more aggressive in free agency to bring in somebody else to play the position? This is the kind of things that I'm wondering right now about the state of the football team.
Yeah, I think what you're bringing up is fair because when the 2022 season ended, there were questions about Colt McCoy's health. He had kind of a mysterious, lingering concussion. I don't think he ever intimated it, but there was thought maybe with a coaching change coming in, maybe Colt McCoy calls it a career at that point. He did some broadcasting work in the offseason. I don't know. I still think Colt McCoy will be the guy week one at Washington. But that's when we will really find out what he's capable of doing. Because, then it's live. You can't just be out there, trying to get conditioned for a season. You got to stretch the ball. And we have not seen that at all. And we didn't see it really in the practices during training camp either. So, Clayton Tune, I think, has been a positive. Anything else? I liked what I saw from Keontae Ingram.
That's the biggest positive for the game.
We're having those discussions about the running backs behind James Conner, and Conner looked good in his 2 carries too, but, Keontae Ingram got some run, 7 carries, 28 yards. I thought what was a bit of a questionable play call on 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line right before halftime. They hand it off to Keontae Ingram, and he finds pay dirt. Now, it was well blocked, and he got a little push from behind, but
totally legal.
I thought, I thought he made up for that.
First of all, the Dortch touchdown should have never been overturned. What the hell were they looking at?
That's true.
An unbelievably poor decision to overturn that. But, hey, Keontae Ingram, we said it last week. We were looking to find him, looking for somebody, notably him, to secure the number 2 running back job, at least for one night. It looked like Keontae Ingram certainly did that, and that was a positive.
He'll probably get some more run because he didn't play in the opener. He'll probably get some more run on Saturday against the Minnesota Vikings.